All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Yellowbird Yellow Bill, and today I'm going to go over managing and adding to winners. All right, real quick, this is playback from the 29th of last month on NQ. I took my trade recap, and what I actually did on that day was I was switching between accounts. So I would place a trade on one account and then switch over to another, place a trade on another account. But had I traded that day on one account, this is what it would look like. Now for my ATM, let me back up. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the futures chat or the chat for the stages over here. So the ATMs that I have set up here is going to be an 11 by 11 contracts, taking profit every 10 contracts all the way up to 100 points, and then a runner, that 11th runner at 200 points. The auto break even, everything goes to break even after 10 points profit, and then the runner, the 200 point runner, has a 100 point trail stop on it. And that strategy looks like that. If you have any questions about setting up these strategies, just hit me up and I can go over them with you at a different time. All right, so here we've got, for that day, we've got the Globex low at 15.04975, and then the Globex open at 15.098.75. Previous high is 15.12650, and then the Globex high is right here at 15.14725. All right, so we've set it up. We're at about 9:34. I'm going to play this so we're not sitting here all night for an hour watching these trades go. I'm going to play this at 10 times speed and then pause it when it comes to my entry, explain why I entered there, what I'm doing, and then go from there. All right, so we have the open here. Price went up above the open. Let's slow this down a little. All right, it went over Globex open. Now, Globex open is not something that I usually trade off of, but it's something that I watch. All right, I'm going to pause it here. We have, what I was watching was this wick zone here, this kind of semi-weak resistance turning into support. And here we've got somewhat of a flag shape. So I put in an order. I did a market on the day, and it ended up filling me at 90 even. So we'll go ahead and play this through. All right, there is the order fill. Speed this up. First target, the break even hit in. Rest of the targets. All right, here we broke over the previous high. So I was looking for a break and then a retest at the previous high, and I put in a limit order right there at that level. Now, when this trade happens and it fills, my position is going to jump up, but my stop loss is going to stay down below my position. So I have to quickly move this stop loss down here of the remaining 7 contracts up to above break even. All right, there's the test, there's the fill. Move this up. All right, now that filled. Let me pause this real quick. All right, so that filled, and since I had these orders down here, as they get filled up here, my position is going to start moving up. So I have to manually move up this stop loss. What I like to do is move it up to here, to this stop loss, because this stop loss up here is already at the break even from my entry here at 126.50. All right, so we've got the break and then retest of Globex high. So I had added here again, put in a limit order for the next level. To add more contracts. It continued to go up. At this point, I had thought that I'd missed the opportunity for a re-entry. But as we're going to see here, this price action is going to create a flag down into above the Globex high, which is actually one of my favorite setups, when the price action breaks above and then comes down in a flag for a retest. That is my favorite A+ setup right there. All right, once again, so I've got filled on that order. So once again, I move my stops up. Now I've paused this because I've got it going at 10 times. In real time, you'd be able to do this in real time. All right. Everything went up to that break-even level. And then we ran up again. Moving up strongly. Everything's already automatically taking profits. I'm fully, at this point here, I am fully out of all of up to 100 points. I've already made 100 points off that first entry. I've got my 200 point runner all the way up here on this next entry, or on the first entry. I've burned through all of the take profits on the second and the third entry. And then I've got the runners up top here for 200 points each on those. All right, here, I'm going to pause it. Here in real time, as it was going, we got another flag going. I had drawn the flag and I'd put my entry here at 220, 220, where this candle and the flag intersect, so I could get that good entry. And my first take profit still in the flag. Once I hit that take profit, my break even would go. Order filled.
Target filled.
Moving everything up. And then we broke out of that flag there. And let me move this around a little bit. All right. And then let me speed this up. We'll go 100 times speed on this because the rest of the trade, the rest of the trade just continued to go throughout the day. All right. So answering the question, why are my stops 15 points above break even? So when you are entering and adding two positions, I added, so I add on this flag and my price right here is at 147. It takes profit. My entry, my position stays at 147. Well, once I enter here, my position averages, I enter here at 220, my position averages somewhere around 190, 200. And then as I take profits from this first position, the 147 position, it moves that average up to the 220. However, the ATM for that 220 position, once it gets up to 230, it automatically moves that stop up to 220, but the average position is still down here. That's why the stops were 15 points above break even right there. Sometimes I'll manage them and I'll bring those stops down below break even, but above the average position, and I'll bring the other stops up. But typically, I like to treat the entries as separate trades. So if I'm in here down at the 147 and I've got, 5 contracts still, 5 take profits hanging out up here, I enter on this flag on the 220, and that add fails, I've still got these price targets up here to where it could take those profits. Yeah, it is really fast on the replay, but I am going 10 times speed on everything. In real time, it is fairly quick, but it's not as quick as this. Okay. Yeah, this seems like an advanced play. I would not recommend this on an eval or before you've got static in a PA, static drawdown in a PA. These adding to the winners and everything like that. This is more of an advanced technique and everything like that. Oh. All right. Is there a reason why I do a limit buy? I like to do the limit buys so I get the even fills and the even take profits on, like the 220s, the 90s. All right. And there is the final take profit there. So on NQ, taking 11 contracts with the runners, managing the runners, as I explained at the beginning, it would have been a $60,000 day right there. $6,000 on MNQ. The way I actually traded this was I started off on NQ. I had 33 contracts, so it was take profit of 3 contracts every 10 on that first account. And then I switched accounts to MNQ and managed those the rest of the way, traded MNQ. So I didn't make nearly this much money on, on the one trade and everything like that. But I do like to do limit buys, especially when working off of the levels or within a flag, because we're sitting here on this flag and I put in my limit, right here where this candle intersects with the flag itself. I can sit here and just wait for it to hit that price and not have to sit here, hover over with the buy market, stare at it. If I look over, check Discord or check, my other chart or something, I might miss my entry. And then I have to chase. And instead of getting this 220 entry, I get like a 225. And I'm hanging out in the middle of the flag instead of at the bottom. Yeah, is this old? Aren't you doing 33 cons, or did you go to 11 now? No, I am doing I'm doing 33 contracts myself, but I broke it down to 11 for the class because 11 is something more you could do. I trade evals and stuff with 11. I'll trade a 50K or a 25K, the smaller evals, with my system with 11, taking profits. But if I'm in that eval phase or before the static drawdown, I'll keep a trail stop of about 30 on the whole trade. So as it goes up, I'll be trail stopping it. But once I'm above that static drawdown or on my personal account, I'm trading 30 or 33 contracts on NQ. Right now on RTY, I'm only trading, let me see, 3 contracts. Trading 3 contracts on RTY, taking profits every 1.10 ticks for that. All right. Let me see. So Krieg, Ralph, Kobe, 80 Jillian, you all asked questions. Did I answer your questions clearly, guys? Yes, Rancid. Go ahead. What is your question? I can't wait. How dare I? How dare I what?
like I said, this isn't typically what I make in a day, because once I make a decent amount on NQ, once I reach my goal, my daily goal on NQ, I switch to MNQ. So I'm making a tenth of, what's expected. And it's still, I'm not going to lie, it's still a decent amount every day, but it's not, I'm not putting up crazy 5-6 figure days every day. Okay, the ATM. All right, so here's the ATM for the 11 orders. The stop loss is set at 10 points. I've got profit every 10 points. The regular auto break even is here at, once it reaches 10 points profit, it goes plus 2 points. That's to cover the commission. And then the auto break even on this last runner has an auto trail of 100 points. So as that goes up, it'll trail, and I won't leave so much on the table. All right, so my ideal strategy for evals that I've had the most success with, Ralphie, is to do either a 10 20 30 or a 10 20 30 40 on MNQ rather. Basically the same thing. I'm taking profit every 10 points. This here is 3 contracts, taking profits every 10 points, or 4 contracts, taking profits every 10 points. And then I have where I enter in 12 contracts. I'm taking profit of 3 contracts every 10, 20, 30, 40. And then 10, 20, 30 with 9 contracts. Every 10, 20, 30, I'm taking 3 contracts, taking profit. I would say starting out with the evals and everything like that, starting out the day, do the singles, 10, 20, 30. With a 10-point stop loss, you're risking $60. With the 10, 20, 30, 40, you're risking $80 for every trade you make. With the 10, 20, 30, you're making... No, that's the... I'd have to do the calculation quick on how much you're making. You're making $120 if it goes green on you for the full amount. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, I would say size down for the evals, size down, trade MNQ, don't risk a lot when going through the eval or building cushion. Don't try and enter with 33 contracts. I would say, that 9 to 11 of micros is pushing it. But what I did in the past starting out, and when I got was starting out with the evals, is I would start off in the morning with entering 3 or 4 contracts at a time. Once I realized, got a grip on the day and realized, hey, this is favorable price action for my system, everything like that, then I would step up to entering 9 contracts, 12 contracts in that area, taking profit every 10 points. Yeah, so reason for 10 points per target is that for just risk tolerance, because you never have faith in getting 40 points. I usually take profit at 15 and then 20. Okay, so the reason I enter in, take profits at 10 points, and then 20, 30, 40 is I'm looking for about a 20-point move. Is that 15 to 20-point move is what I'm looking for and trying to get. I make my entry, I get my 10, it goes to break even, I get my 20, I take profit there. And then if the trade continues to work in my favor, I'm already in a position to continue to take profits and make that money and take those profits without having to chase or re-enter into a bad trade. It is, and if it only goes 20 points in my favor and back to break even, okay, now I'm looking for the next trade. I've got, it went up 20 points, came back down on 2 or 3 contracts. If we're only trading, the 3 or 4 starting out, I'm eating what, $60 to $80 into my drawdown, which is completely fine. So it's more of, I'm not looking for those 100-point moves. I'm not looking for that 40-point move, but I'm setting myself up for success if that move does happen. I mean, today when I traded, 3 of my trades were 10 points and break even. And then 1 trade went for a decent move. Yeah, Chef, it is just a number. When doing these evals and everything like that, when everything started clicking for me is when I stopped worrying about the money value of what was in the account. I stopped looking at it as, hey, I made $1,000 today. I made $800 today. I made $500 today. It was, in order to advance to level 2 of the video game, I have to make a score of, 1,500. I have to make a score of whatever. And when these little sticks, these blue and white sticks do certain things, I need to react. I need to jump or, crouch or whatever. I turned it into a video game, essentially, and disconnected the monetary value from it. And with disconnecting the monetary value and turning it into a video game, that helped reduce the stress of it. So yeah, it is just a number. That is one of the ways that I found success. The brain numbing procedure to remove the dollar amount. The easiest way to do that is to take this little box right here, put it behind your chart, click right there, and then it's not there. You don't see it. The money is no longer there. You are just managing your trades. My chart's clean. Do I track key levels? So I track the previous day high, previous day low, Globex high, Globex low, Globex open. And that's the levels that I trade off of. Now, I have the daily expected, the weekly expected, and the monthly expected moves on the chart as reference, but those are not levels that I trade off of, or key levels that I like. A clean chart. I don't like when I see B's chart and the way he trades it, and with all the EMAs and all the drawings that he has on there and everything like that. It personally, myself, it stresses me out. I've traded the EMAs. I've traded, the Bollinger Bands, HA candles, all sorts of other different things. And all right, so yeah, those are the key levels that I watch. I don't trade off of the expected moves because it was just too much noise. It gave me analysis paralysis, and I just would see EMAs would say to go long, key levels would be like, well, this is not a good place to go long in this and that and that and this. And it just caused me more problems than what it was worth. So I just went with a naked chart, traded naked for a while, started adding the levels that I had, and that's what I use. Yeah, coach, my chart, what was it, yesterday or Friday, was just a mess. Just so many flags and channels and everything. It was rough. Yeah, no, I don't have volume on my chart either. I feel like I can get a good handle on the volume as the candle forms. If it's real, on how the candle is acting, I can usually make a good judgment on how the volume is going.